Interesting.
And coming off the aftermath of her Club Shay Shay interview with Shannon Sharp, Amanda Seales had some response words for Gilbert Arenas, who spoke on some of her comments about her dating and relationship history. So there's a lot of content that has come out of Amanda Seales' appearance on Club Shay Shay. Her and Shannon Sharp got into a back and forth about her experiences with racism. They talked about her, dating history, so on. So there's been various things. Her beef with Issa Rae, it's been all kinds of stuff that they talked about in that interview. And one of the things that Gilbert Arenas chose to touch on is her single status and how her apparent um, intelligent hypergamy standards have a lot to do with why she remains to be single, and his opinion that she'll continue to be single because of those preferences. And she, of course, didn't, want to hear that from Gilbert Arenas. She had a response to that, of course. So here's this whole thing, and here's how it breaks down here. So this says Amanda Seales responds to Gilbert Arenas saying she is too smart to date. The fallout from Amanda Seales' Club Shay Shay interview with Shannon Sharp is still coming. Seales made waves last week for her interview where several subjects were talked about with countless reactions from fans. Seales has checked host Shannon Sharp for attempting to downplay her experiences with racism. Sharp's performance in the interview drew criticism from viewers who said Sharp seemed unempathetic to Seales throughout. Seales also took to Instagram to address Sharp, dismissing her claims of having autism. The interview was filled with controversy and content for fans to chew on. Shannon Sharp, seemingly unaffected by the criticism, discussed the interview with Chad Ochocinco and Gilbert Arenas. The trio delved into the relationship issues that Seales had candidly shared in the interview. Arenas, a former basketball player turned podcaster, offered his analysis on Seales' dating life. Seales, not one to shy away from a challenge, responded to Arenas' comments, sparking another round of discussion in the ongoing controversy. Gilbert Arenas said of Amanda Seales not being married, quote, as educated as she is, there's a standard of a man that she's looking for. If they're not on the same education level as her, she's going to look down on him. If they're more educated than her, then they're talking down to her. So these are the type of women that will typically be single because they can't find the equal partner to who they are. Arenas' dating analysis was interesting, but ultimately it was just his personal opinion and not a larger commentary on the psychology of dating and marriage. Amanda Seales responded to the comments on social media saying, "Why is Gilbert Arenas even talking about me? I'm too smart to find a good man. That's not even a thing. That's an unfortunate statement to make," she concluded. "I don't even know what that's trying to say about men. And the truth is, I'm not trying to find a good man. A good man will find me. I'm talking to somebody right now." Seales is used to being criticized because of her strong will and personality. Overall, Seales' interview on Club Shay Shay seems to have been a confidence booster to the comedian and actor as she responds to all the naysayers. I've seen some of Amanda Seales' comedy. She's not funny to me, but that's just my personal opinion. I'm not going to. I'm not shading her. I just think her comedic style is not my personal cup of tea. I've seen her stand up. Not all that much to write home about. So I think comedian is a bit of an overstatement. But be that as it may, be that as it may. So yeah, where do you see this one? Like, what do you think of what Gil had to say? Do you think that her response made sense? Where do you stand on this?
Boy, all right, let me step around these eggshells real quick. All right, so from Gilbert's perspective, let me speak on Gilbert's perspective. So, he doesn't know her, so he doesn't know her, so he's speaking about an archetype of woman. The thing is, where Gil in his world, I'm sure he's come across the intellectual type of woman, and he's been in a situation where she's the woman that he's dealing with. She isn't stimulated by his level of intellect, and so he's probably seen firsthand a woman, basically going, I gotta spoon feed this to you. Um, and I'm sure he's also been in situations with women who considered themselves intellectual, but he actually got her in the sense of, yeah, I actually know a little bit more than you. And that woman also felt like, well, you trying to play me, what you think, and there's a fight. So he's speaking about an archetype of woman that clearly he's encountered in his life, and he's projecting that, on Amanda, which is the only basis where he can formulate an opinion about this if he just chooses to talk on it. So he's coming from that angle.
Mm-hmm.
So now from Amanda's side is she's coming from the perspective of, hey, well, you don't know me. And how can you say that? So which is also fair. And because I've met women who were very intellectual. They knew their stuff front to back. But I think it's not a uniform blanket thing. So I've known some very smart professors who are happily married and submissive. And she's a smart woman. She's a college professor. She's teaching doctors. So a well-educated woman doesn't mean she's gonna buck. So I think it's a thing where it's just the mentality of the person with the intellect. So I don't think intellect equals combative. I think combative with education is a combative person. I think a combative person is just a combative person. So I've seen women with intellect and handle it with class and grace, and I've seen the ones who wield it like a power thing. And yeah, I'm smarter than you. Yeah, I'm smarter than you. Oh, I'm smarter than this guy. I'm smarter than men. It's like, hey man, you got something else going on there where your intellect isn't being used as a tool to help build things up. You're using it as a flex. So and that comes in both male and female. So I just think it's a situation where Gilbert is just speaking from an archetype of a woman that he encountered. He doesn't really know her, so he can't really get to that conclusion. But I can at least understand where Gilbert is coming from. But I don't know Miss Amanda, but I can tell you one thing: she is very animated. She's very opinionated. She can get loud. She can come off abrasive. And when you got all those things working with you, and then somebody says that you're also an intellectual person, or she claims intellect, it's a quick thing to go, see, they're intimidated by my intellect. See, my intellect is what got them shook. And it's like, no, it's not your intellect. It's all these other things I just named. The loudness, the abrasiveness, the unwillingness to, and then those characteristics is what comes off to people as whatever. So I think she's a person that if you don't follow her, and by the way, I follow Amanda. I've been following her since like 2015 on Instagram. It's not like I'm on Instagram anymore, but she had good takes on things, a social event especially that was going on back then. So I get her and I understand her. So Gilbert just sounds like somebody that I only saw her on that interview, so he's just projecting. So, what are your thoughts, man, on Gilbert saying that Amanda's just the type of intellectual person that could never get along with a man because she challenges too much? Do you agree, sir?
Yeah, I don't think I agree with you on Gilbert. I would imagine that Gilbert has probably at some point in his past um, run into women who underestimated his intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
I get that sense. That's to me. That's kind of where he was. I feel like that's what he was speaking on behalf of,
Mm-hmm.
because he's a smart guy. But unfortunately, sometimes people make preconceived notions about certain people based upon what they do for a living or reputation. You know what I'm saying? So, like Gilbert Arenas being an NBA player, in the intellectual world, right, in the educational ivory tower, I don't know that people hold professional athletes into high regard in terms of them being intellectual people. It's kind of like you have to prove it to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm already here. You're a sports player. Prove your intelligence to me so that I can believe that you're smart, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's probably at one point or another run into people, but more specifically women, who underestimated his own intelligence, and that probably offended him, because it's like, hey, don't judge this book by its cover. I might have played basketball and gotten suspended for bringing guns to the arena,
But I
but
ain't no idiot.
I'm not an idiot, right? Like, I'm still an intelligent guy who can hold a note. So don't be dismissive towards me in that manner. So I hear
Right.
where you're coming from. I kind of feel like that was the place that he was speaking from. But with Seals, I'm with you, and it's hard because I don't know. Like, you follow her, I don't. I've just seen
Mm-hmm.
a few of her comedy specials, and I've seen a couple of her rants where she's going off on stuff. But for the most part, I don't really know her intimately.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like every time I do see her doing something, she's very direct
Yeah, in your
and
face.
very aggressive with how she goes about her business.
Right.
And she seems like the kind of person who, if an individual encounters her like directness
Mm-hmm.
as like off-putting, she will sort of internalize that as, oh well, you just don't understand my level of intellect.
Correct.
So you don't understand my level of intellect, therefore it rubs you the wrong way, and now you feel like I'm being abrasive. I'm not abrasive. I'm not aggressive. I just think on a higher plane of existence than you. Like,
Right.
she kind of strikes me as, I'm the smartest person in the room person. You know what I'm saying? She gives me Joe Budden, Kyrie Irving vibes, where it's like, these people think that
Imagine
if any,
all three of them in a room, bro. That's gonna
oh
be
my
crazy.
God, there's not enough oxygen. It ain't enough oxygen. There's not enough oxygen in that room for the three of them. It's not. It'll be a member measuring contest to see who can pee the furthest, and she'll be right there front and center peeing the furthest. But she strikes me as, I'm the smartest person in any room I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
Very much like those people. And for them, whenever your style of delivery rubs somebody the wrong way, it isn't that that person is like put off by your directness. It's that they just don't understand your intelligence. So I kind of feel like they're kind of both coming from their own unique perspectives in life and some of the things that they've experienced. Neither one of them is right or wrong. It's more so just an explanation. But I've run into people like that all the time. Like, I've run into people who feel some type of way whenever they feel as though their intelligence is being underestimated. And then I've run into others who just want to sort of aggressively shower you with their intelligence because they want to let you know that they think on a higher plane of existence. But the biggest point to me with this, real quick, is um, this idea that intelligence is an attractive quality to seek in a potential mate. I would like to emphasize that real quick. Once again, I don't know Amanda Seals, but apparently she's the type of woman who like gets off on intelligence and intelligent men. We need to kind of talk about that a little more, because one thing that I kind of would imagine that both of them don't see eye to eye is some of the things that they value in terms of like who they go after.
Mm-hmm.
Gilbert Arenas, coming from the professional athlete world, I would imagine that there's a certain kind of female that he's used to dealing with on a semi-regular basis.
Correct.
And I don't think intelligence is on the list of
No, it is.
qualities that
No, it
those
is not.
women. I don't think that intelligence is on the list of qualities that those women
Hey,
possess.
he wants some brains, but he don't want no intelligence.
Yes, yes. So him speaking on Seals to me kind of doesn't make sense, because, bro, you are Mr. NBA player guy. Well, at this point, you're ex NBA player, and you're consorting with the lot lizards, the vampires,
Correct.
the Instagram models, the
Correct.
strippers,
The
the adult
Adrian Broner
film.
girl.
Yes. The adult film actresses, the women who
Yeah.
do OnlyFans.
Yes.
Those are the women that you're dealing with. To use your own words, you're dealing with 304s. That's what you're dealing with. So I kind of feel like it's incomprehensible for you to even comment on the motivations of Amanda Seales when it comes to her dating preferences,
Correct. Yeah.
because
Yeah. Right.
you don't seek out the type of women that value intelligence in a man anyway.
Correct.
So I'm oddly enough more on her side than Gilbert, even though I'm not really anti Gilbert really,
Hmm.
but I am more pro Amanda Seales here.
Yeah.
Like, she's minding her own business. And if she likes intelligence in a man, then so be it. What's it matter to you? You don't you're not the kind of guy that covets that kind of preference anyway. So what difference does it make? So for
Mhm.
you to even comment on it as if to suggest I know this for a fact because I'm the kind of guy that deals with this. No, you're not. You deal with the kind of dudes, you deal with the kind of women who seek out ball players. Amanda Seales ain't that kind of chick. She's not. So what are you even talking about, bro? But moreover, Seals talking about intelligent men and good men and all this kind of stuff. I hear where she's coming from. I don't know her personally, but based on interviews that I've seen and different things that she's posted, she is someone of that ilk. She does find intelligence to be a highly sought after quality, and I'm going to back that all day, every day. You're never going to hear me downplay that. And
Mhm.
if it just so happens that she hasn't been able to find her person, she says she's talking to somebody right now, good for her. But I think in this current culture where we are devaluing intelligence, especially when it comes to men, it is good to see somebody who says, I'm not one of these lot lizards, as you like to call them, who devalues that kind of quality. And I think
Mhm.
Gilbert Arenas, for all the smarts that he may or may not have, deals with women who do in fact devalue intelligence.
Yeah. And the you are right, man. When it comes to the type of women that he deals with, um, he hasn't really dealt with. I can't say that either. I don't know the man, but when we're dealing with those types of women, the fast ones, even if they're smart, there's a lot of immaturity going on there. So he might have dealt with the ones that weren't mature enough to handle such knowledge or information, and they handled it in an immature fashion where they couldn't either be submissive to a man or whatever. And like I said, man, I know college professors, doctors who had
Mm-hmm.
husbands at home and were submissive women.
Yeah.
So the intellect has nothing to do with anything, And I agree. I agree with you, man. Just more of the. Uh, it's just how she comes off to people who don't know her, and it can be animated. Some days I'm not in the mood for it. You know, I'm just not. I'm trying to
Yeah.
chill today, and
Yeah.
she's on 10 about a topic, and it's like I'm not. I don't feel like right now. It's no knock, and I'm not saying what she's saying is invalid or anything like that. It's just I'm not always in that mood. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but people mistake that much, kind of like what Kevin Samuels. People mistake the delivery, and they go, "Hey, I don't like this delivery, therefore I don't like the message or the messenger."
Correct. Yeah. People for whatever reason can't handle directness.
No, they don't like it.
I've seen it, and I've experienced it firsthand. Not to cut you off, but I've
Mhm,
experienced that firsthand. Like when I used to be a cook,
mhm,
I had all kinds of people who hated my guts, didn't like me. And it's like, hey, look, man, I'm just a direct person when it comes to doing this job.
right.
I'm just gonna be direct with you. Like, I'm not getting personal, but I don't know, for whatever reason, I don't know whether it's like people just aren't used to it, but it's like people really can't handle people who communicate directly. It's off-putting to them. It's like they become defensive over it, even though the person's not trying to offend them.
Well, today's modern era is just all about lie to me. Just lie to me. Just make sure that the lie sound good, and everybody want to be lied to. Like right now, if you try to be direct with people, whatever, they'll say, "Oh, you said that. Why you said it like that?" Well, because your breath stank. Yeah. What I'm supposed to say? Hey, you brush your teeth this morning? Like that roundabout stuff is more offensive to me. So yeah, so my whole thing is, this new age of how people are very sensitive, and so therefore they don't even like directness. truth, directness. They're like, hey man, give me a lie, make
Mhm.
it sound good and have a lot of fluff around it. And what will end up going on is you'll see this coddling behavior. It creates coddled people who can't take stress. Everybody's
Yeah.
depressed. Don't talk about me like that. You're bullying me. You know what I'm saying? What's
Yeah.
that boy, that cameraman? The cameraman mortified by by Megan and stuff. You need to stop. But everybody's so sensitive right now. So, and that came with politically correct culture and all the other stuff. And right now, people getting told the truth is offensive, as
Yeah.
wild as that is.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
so yeah, we're living in a bizarro world. So yeah, if somebody unmutes and is direct and is giving people stuff the raw, it does come off the wrong way to people. It's like, oh, you should dress it up another way. Maybe I would have liked the message. What?
Yeah.
But and I think that's the dynamic that she's experiencing, which triggers people like Gil and everybody else like that who just dismiss her instead of actually listening to what she got to say. So,
Mhm.
yeah, man, it's some funky stuff, man. But I would disagree with Gil here. I understand where he's coming from, but I think it's short sighted. I don't necessarily agree.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know what he's getting at. I think he's projecting his own shortcomings and insecurities personally. I kind of feel like in a roundabout way he's sort of letting everybody in on his individual psychosis when it comes to the kind of women he deals with. That's
Right.
how I see it.
And
That's how I see it.
when he
Yeah.
came up against a woman that can think for herself, he couldn't handle it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he should just stick to his just stick to the 304s
Yeah,
and the
man.
lot lizards and the rest of those cleat chasers and the women who wait in the hotel lobbies when the bus
Just
show up.
just hit up Adrian, bro. I heard he know where they at, bro.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe he can get you a group rate because from what I hear, it's become very expensive. So
Right offable.